Every place that we go, folks will turn their heads. They'll be hollering from God to Denver. We are the pair, they'll discuss. Yes, this world will remember us. We are making dang sure that we leave our mark. You don't leave your mark by ding and ditches. No wonder we're, they'll discuss. Yes, this world will remember us.
You guys, we have an amazing show tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Living Room Live. I'm Lauren Kennedy Brady. I'm the producing artistic director of Theater Raleigh, and you are in for quite a show tonight. I am really, really excited. This gal who is going to be joining me tonight is not only a beautiful singer, but a beautiful human being. I can't wait to chat with her, and we get to hear her sing live, you guys. She's singing live from her living room, straight to yours. How cool is that? Thank you so much for tuning in. I say it on all of these shows, but of course, it is always worth reminding that we do not charge tickets for these live performances with, by the way, Broadway stars, two-time Tony nominee Broadway stars like our guest tonight. So if you are loving what we're doing here on Living Room Live, and you are interested in helping keeping theaters alive and well through this pandemic and strong on the other side, please donate to, by the way, all theaters across the country, any arts organization that you love, but also to Theater Raleigh. You can donate at theaterraleigh.com. Ashley, who is working our chat, will put up the link in our chat. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get all the notifications about the amazing guests that we have coming up, and some awesome new shows that we have coming up as well. Some great artists, not only in our reunion specials, but on Living Room Live. So go down there somewhere and subscribe. Hey, we made our 500 subscriber mark. We did it this week. Thank you, Laura Osnes. I believe her fans have come through strong. And we have 505 subscribers as of right before we started. So that's pretty cool. Help us get to 600, our next goal. So subscribe and donate and all those fun things. I'm going to roll a little video just to give you a window into the awesomeness that you have to expect from tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Osnes.
10 minutes ago I saw you. I looked up when you came through the door. My head started reeling. You gave me the feeling the room had no ceiling or floor. Welcome home, my dear. Welcome home, my sweet. Welcome home, my hero. Welcome home, my heart. Welcome home. Welcome home.
How about that? I'm gonna go ahead and give a major shout out to my husband, Charlie Brady, who created that awesome video of Laura. And I also have to say, he is also the reason that she is joining us tonight, because he was in South Pacific with Laura on Broadway, and he called in a favor and she said yes. How about that? So that's pretty cool. Thanks, Charlie. He's giving a thumbs up. Hopefully we'll hear from him over here on the sidelines tonight. He is also running this particular stream for Living Room Live. So yay, thanks, hubby. Love you. Okay, I have so many questions from that gorgeous, beautiful, genius woman, and I know that you have them too. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching and you feel compelled, please go ahead and write in, ask a question of Laura, and we will make sure that we ask her a couple of those towards the end of the broadcast, so you can feel like you're part of the conversation. And guess what? You are. So that will be really super awesome. I want to also say a very big thank you to First Citizens, who is our virtual experience sponsors. Thank you so much, First Citizens. Hey, it's see-through. You can still see me. They have come on to sponsor all of our virtual experiences, which includes our reunion special and, of course, Living Room Live. And in the next week or so, we are going to be doing something very cool. Actually, I'm not even going to say it tonight. Hey, Charlie, take that off. I was like, you can't see me. I can't see anything. We're going to be making an announcement towards the end of the week. We have some really cool hybrid concerts coming up for you. Since the gathering size has increased in North Carolina, we're going to, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully be able to get a couple people in the room and do some live stream concerts for you. So stay tuned. Towards the end of this week, we're going to be giving you all that information. It's going to be pretty cool. So thank you, First Citizens, for all you're doing to help us keep theater live during this really, really crazy and horrible time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Laura Osnes. She is a two-time Tony nominee for her memorable performances in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Also, she got the Drama Desk Award for that performance. And she was also nominated for a Tony for Bonnie and Clyde. Her other Broadway starring roles are Bandstand, Anything Goes, South Pacific, and Grease. She has also starred in 2 Hallmark original movies, In the Key of Love and A Homecoming for the Holidays, and has been seen on TV in Fosse Verdon, Dynasty, and Elementary. Other New York regional credits include Scarlet Pimpernel, Crazy for You, Threepenny Opera, The Bandwagon, Pipe Dream, The Sound of Music, Carousel, at Carnegie Hall, by the way, Sound of Music at Carnegie Hall, Carousel at Lyric Opera of Chicago, On the Town with the Boston Pops. And in addition to her extensive cabaret and concert career, she is also a founding member and part of the Broadway Princess Party. Her concerts include the performances with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, live from Lincoln Center, the Kennedy Center Honors, A Capital Fourth, American Songbook, 6 by Sondheim, and so many more. She can be heard on her 2 solo albums and also several original Broadway cast recordings. Help me introduce to you Laura Osnes. The crowd goes wild. There she is!
Hi, Lauren!
Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. I'm so honored to be here, and just thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to have you, and I'm so glad that Charlie was like, hey, let's ask Laura. I was like, oh my God, she'll never do this. And
Please,
yes,
are you
did.
kidding? No, I have been such an admirer of you forever too, so the love is mutual. And of Charlie,
oh
obviously.
my God. I mean, obvi. Well, I really appreciate you coming on tonight and just chatting with us. It's so fun to check in with our fellow theater friends and artists and see how they're doing, obviously during this weird pandemic-y weird time, but also to talk about like what your experience was and your journey to your sort of amazing career. I want to start with, obviously everybody knows you from Bonnie and Clyde, and of course your amazing turn as Cinderella in Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, but you got started on the reality show You're the One That I Want, right?
Yes, I did. That was like my big break.
I mean, seriously, your big break. What was that like? So you're from Wisconsin, right? If I'm
From
making
Minnesota,
that up?
yeah, next door, Minnesota. Midwest, you
I
know.
swear I did my research.
Please, I went to school
okay.
in Wisconsin. I went to college for a year in Wisconsin.
Got it. So were you in college when you decided, hey, I'm gonna audition for this reality show?
I only went to college for a year, and then I left school because I got offered a job back in Minneapolis at the Tony Award-winning Children's Theater Company. It's a award-winning regional theater there.
No,
and
it's huge.
It's wonderful. I grew up doing shows there, and one of the artistic directors there invited me to come back and be an intern there for a year. So I decided to take a year off school and intern there and like be in all the shows and get points toward my equity card and get paid a little bit, not much, but to do all the shows in that season, thinking I could always go back to school, but the opportunity may not always be there. And so I worked at that theater for that year. And then I ended up booking another show in Minneapolis. When the year I would have gone back to school, I booked Sandy and Grease at Chanhassen Dinner Theater in Minnesota.
Hilarious.
And yeah, so I was again like, well, I just got offered a job to do what I was going to school for. I guess I'll keep working for another year.
Absolutely.
And it was during that I found out that NBC was having this TV reality show to cast Sandy and Danny and Grease on Broadway. And I thought, well, I'm currently playing the role. Maybe I have a shot at this. So I flew to LA and auditioned when I was 20.
That's incredibly serendipitous that you were playing the role. You know, I mean, and like you took a chance and you were like, great, I'm just going to go to LA, fly myself there and do this audition. It's amazing.
That's it. Stood in line with thousands of people, and luckily I had to take a weekend off of shows, and I wrote to my director and I was like, is this okay? Like, can I do this? And he believed in me enough to let me go, and thank goodness he did. I had to keep calling back and be like, I made it to the next level. I have to stay an extra day, or like I have to go back in 4 more weeks for like the next step. And then I ended up leaving the show early to move to LA and compete on the live show. So like, it
amazing.
was a very crazy journey, but
I bet you he takes a lot of credit for you.
He does kind of, but I'm grateful. I actually, when I'm back in Minnesota, I usually go, when theaters are on, go back to visit Chanhassen, and I still have so many friends working there, and they always give me house seats, and it's really a treat.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That is a crazy story. Now, you must have just like, if you only had a year of college, were you like super wide-eyed, or were you sort of like, I have done theater a lot in my life? You know, what was your sort of training up to that point?
Yeah, both. I did my first show in 2nd grade, and I was one of those that like always knew I wanted to be on Broadway. I sang Castle on a Cloud in my kindergarten talent show. I used to act out musicals in my living room.
That just goes to show you how young you are, that you could have sung that in your kindergarten.
No, like that's what I used to do. I was like singing, dancing, and acting before I could walk and talk. And so it was always just kind of in me, and I knew it's what I wanted to pursue. And so part of me was very ready for it. And I was a very good student, but I never really enjoyed school. I was always like, when can I go to rehearsal? When is my next dance thing? Like, so it just ended up not kind of being my path. The whole reality thing was definitely a new experience for me. I got my first like spray tan, and like the first time I like got my makeup done. You know, I was like a little Midwestern girl, and this was Hollywood. This was live TV, and so those experiences were new. And the transition to Broadway, part of me was comforted by the fact that the process was very similar. Like, there was still rehearsals, and there were still, there was a cast, and you learned your lines, and having just done the role, I was very familiar with the material, so I think that helped ease the transition. There's just more money behind it on Broadway, and a little more pressure because you're getting reviewed, and but I remember like we rehearsed at 42nd Street Studios, like overlooking Times Square, and I pinched myself every day going, this is my new reality. It was nuts.
And then no looking back for you, obviously.
Yeah, I guess. I was so grateful I got to move to New York with a year-long contract playing Sandy on Broadway when I was 21. Like, that doesn't happen. It does not happen to people. So I'm super,
no,
super
it really doesn't. It's very rare. So any of you children, aspiring actors, don't expect the Laura Osnes path, but it's an amazing community. And I think what is cool about what you did come with was you came with friends. So you came with Max and also Ashley, because Ashley, who was your runner-up. Yeah. Didn't she replace you, or she did it at some point?
Yes, she did. She was the runner-up on the show, and like Kate Rockwell was on the show.
And Kate Rockwell, of course. Oh my God. So you already had a community of people, which I think is really interesting. And I also think it's funny that Ashley's married to Jeremy Jordan, who you went on to star in shows with.
Exactly. I knew Ashley before I knew Jeremy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you what a small world it is, and how much people really do interact with each other and continue to be there for each other as you move through your career.
Totally. The community is super small. I feel like everything I've done since, like the next thing I did had one person from Grease in it, and then the thing I did after that had 2 people from the thing before that, and like it's a very, very small community. And there were 14 people that made their Broadway debuts with Grease, so I didn't feel like Max and I were the only brand new babies. A show about high schoolers, you have to find semi-young people.
Yeah, young people who haven't been on Broadway yet, of course.
Right.
Except I think the revival before your Grease was a lot of old people.
Truth. Truth.
There's a lot of like Sam Harris, Rosie O'Donnell, Brooke Shields are all like, in their 40s. But anyway, I digress. You guys went for the more authentic version.
Yeah, I think, what was cool is that Kathleen Marshall was like a mother to all of us. She was our director choreographer. She was also a judge on the show. So she really saw me, from the ground up and believed in me. And she's
You mean this girl right here that we're getting ready to show? Oh, cutie pie. Look at that baby girl.
Oh, wow. Eyebrows, eyeshadow.
Adorable. By the way, you look exactly the same.
Oh, gosh.
100% gorgeous. And I love that you were the brunette Sandy. Let's see this picture. There she is. Hot mama.
I wanted to be blonde. I actually asked about that once the Broadway show happened, but because I had won a reality show to get me there, a lot of the people coming to see the shows, the argument of the costume and wardrobe department and wig department was that they want to see Laura Osnes. They want to see the girl they voted for.
100%.
So they wanted me to be brunette.
No,
Which
I think
actually the original Sandy on Broadway, Carol Demas, was a brunette before Olivia Newton-John and before the movie. So.
I know. But you know what I love the most is that now that you're bringing up Olivia Newton-John, because she was my idol when I was growing up. I mean, you might have sung Castle on a Cloud, but I sang Hopelessly Devoted when I was in kindergarten and dressed up like Olivia Newton-John as the slutty Sandy at the end.
Oh my God.
Movie.
In kindergarten, I'm obsessed. Are there photos of this?
Oh, I'm sure my parents have them somewhere. And 2 years running, I did that with my black leggings, and my mom had these clog high heels. Oh God, yeah.
In kindergarten. Well, you were belting, and I was playing the innocent little, orphan girl.
I was like, yeah, let's go. Oh my God, that's hilarious. But you got to sing Hopelessly Devoted. They put it in the show, right?
They did. I didn't sing it in our Minnesota production. The Minnesota production was the original stage version, which actually doesn't have "You're the One That I Want."
It doesn't. I know.
The Sandy.
They sing. What is that song called?
They sing, what is it called?
Oh God, it's such a weird song. And people are always
shook up. What's it called?
God, I can't remember. I played Sandy at the Muni, again, with a bunch of people who were too old to be in high school. But anyway.
Who was your Danny?
It was Chris Sieber.
Oh, yes. Yay.
It was kind of amazing.
Of course he was.
Guess what? That's where I met Charlie Brady for the first time. He was in the ensemble as a college student. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that was meant to be. It had to happen. I met my husband doing a show as well. It was a total showmance.
Well, so as long as I've known you and known of you, you and Nathan have been together. Have you been married ever since you were in New York? I can't remember.
Yes, we've been married ever since before New York. So that's why. We met in Minnesota that year after I left college. I only went to college for a year. I left and I worked at that theater for a year. We did a show together that year. We did a production of Disney's Aladdin. Okay. And we understudied Aladdin and Jasmine. Not very ethnically correct.
Nope, can't do that today, but
yeah, exactly. It was Minnesota and it was 15 years ago.
Yep.
Exactly. So we covered the leads, and actually the Aladdin and Jasmine literally collided one day, and he chipped a tooth on her forehead and she was bleeding, and they had to stop the show, and Nate and I went on together. Do you know the story?
No.
So we went on together. Our first kiss was on stage. We rode the magic carpet. They got married at the end, and it was foreshadowing. We started dating a few days later, and now we've been married. We had our 13-year wedding anniversary in May.
That is amazing. Oh, and he's such a good man. He's such a sweetheart.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't even know if he was planning to come to New York, but he sure is with you and has supported you and found an amazing career on his own. I mean, what an artist he is.
Completely. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think he ever saw himself in New York. His sister lived in California at the time, so he was kind of gravitating to that coast, and I kind of came along, and I was like, I guess we're going to New York, babe.
Guess what?
Yeah, and now he has a photography business who, in COVID, it's tricky and it's trying, but he's an amazing artist and such an incredible photographer and supportive rock for me. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's just done amazing things, and I've seen so much of his photography, and he's done some shows that I've been a part of, and he is just spectacular, and you guys are an incredible couple.
I agree. Thanks for saying that.
You're welcome. So I want to talk a little bit about sort of the other roles that you've played on Broadway. Obviously, I think the next show you went on to do was South Pacific, right?
Yes,
did I make that up?
Yep.
So South Pacific, you played Nellie Forbush. You replaced Kelly O'Hara. I mean, how was that? Was that crazy? Let's see a picture of you with Paolo, I should say. There he is. Oh, gorgeous. That green dress.
Dreamy.
Oh my God.
I mean, he's just the dream.
Paolo Szot. Did I pronounce that right?
Paolo Szot, yes.
Szot. Got it.
Paulo Shot. He's
I didn't know.
Brazilian.
He's Brazilian, right?
And yeah, I was 23 at the time, and it was just a dream come true. I had a series of 4 callbacks to assume the role of Nellie Forbush. I had to be approved by a lot of people. And I finally feel like when that happened, it was like a legitimizing moment for me. Like the reality show was like a dream come true, like put me on the map. And but then I still feel like it kind of came with a negative stigma of being the reality show girl. And this, I finally felt like I didn't get cast because I was like reality TV famous or whatever. I had to jump through the hoops to do it. And
I have to tell you, Laura, is that I auditioned for it as well. I remember seeing you there. No, I remember seeing you in the hallway, and I was like, oh, that's that girl from, And I had played Nellie Forbush. By the way, like I played it in London, but they were never going to cast me, and plus I was too old at that point. I think actually,
that's not true.
No. Well, you know, you read the book. 22 is how old she is in the book.
Yeah,
you are
Kelly,
perfect for it, though. Oh.
I mean, I was astounded.
Perfect.
I was astounded. First of all, to replace Kelly, because I had seen her in Light in the Piazza a few years before I lived in New York when I was like in high school.
Stunning.
And, you know, was just such a fan of hers as well. And who knew that a few years later I would be replacing her in a show at that same theater. Like, it's just, the stars aligned.
And she had been nominated for the Tony, and there was so much, that show was so revered and with the press, and that must have been like intense to fit her shoes. But you know, a little birdie told me that you were incredibly generous and beautiful and so lovely to work with, and just this breath of fresh air. And that you really brought something so special to the show. And I wish that I had seen you do it. I bet you were amazing.
Well, please. I'm sure you were built to play that role as well. So
I was like this.
I could see you do it. Well,
I did a lot of like, hey,
Nellie can be
I'm
kind of
corny
quirky.
from Kansas.
That's how I was. She's from Little Rock, Arkansas.
No, it's a great part, though. I think it's very underrated, right?
Very. I did not appreciate South Pacific until I did it. And now it's like one of my favorite musicals, and it's so rich. It is so rich, and Nellie is spectacular. I fell in love with her, and I was also thankfully greeted by a very loving and generous cast who didn't have to be the way that they were, but people like Charlie and my friend Nick Mayo and beautiful people from that ensemble, Christian Delcroix, Eric Anderson, who just welcomed me into the family. In addition to the leading players, Paulo was so gracious. Yeah, I had a final callback with him, and I can just, he was probably like, who is this child? Like, you know what I mean? And he was just so gracious in my callback. I had no idea what I was doing. And
I bet you guys were so sexy together. Oh my God, I love that.
He was great. And Danny Burstein and Loretta Albacer and everybody was so supportive and welcoming. And
all I can think about right now is that Charlie's never going to let me down that I pronounced Paulo's name wrong.
Oh, please.
Say that one more time.
Well, he's from like the opera world, you know what I mean? So it was different. We brought him into our musical theater world, and
he was incredible, though. That was a great piece of casting. Yes. And then you went on to play Hope Harcourt. Was that next for you?
Yes, and Anything Goes.
Ugh, I didn't pull a picture of that one for whatever reason, but
there aren't that many out there. There's a few, but
that was a stunning production, though. That was beautiful. And again,
completely.
Lincoln Center, right?
No, that was at the Stephen Sondheim Theater.
Wasn't it produced by Lincoln?
The revival in the 80s with Patty was at Lincoln Center. Yep.
Girl, I am aging myself so hardcore because that is exactly what I was thinking, because I saw that revival at Lincoln Center. Okay, I'm an idiot.
You're not, please. Are you kidding? What's fun is that you've gotten to see the generations of like
all
every
the different
decade
shows.
Something is revived, and it's
like all my Broadway shows have had revivals.
See, Max and I used to joke when we made our Broadway debuts in Grease, going like, when we come back, in another 15 years, when Grease is revived, like we'll be there at that opening night, and
you'll be like on the red carpet, like, oh, there they are. Look, they still look good in their 40s. Hilarious.
But Anything Goes was great. It was a champagne, joyful musical. I got to work with Sutton Foster and Joel Grey and Jessica Walter from Arrested Development. She played my mother, and she was a hoot and a half. We had so much fun.
Oh, my God.
And Colin Donnell, dreamy. So dreamy.
Colin Donnell. I mean, so many great performances. You all were incredible. And then, of course, Bonnie and Clyde. Yes. Like, crazy, great, amazing, gorgeous score. And I came to see that show. Of course, Allison Simmet is one of my very best friends. So of course I came to see the show, to see my girl. And I literally remember sitting out there, Laura, and thinking like, are they playing a recording of Laura's voice? Like,
my
she
gosh.
can't sound that good.
Stop.
There's no way.
Talking, Lauren. Look,
No.
That's what I think about you every time I hear you. I'm like, is that real?
It's not at all. I was like, I think it's a Saturday matinee, end of the week.
you.
How does she sound that? I mean, you sounded so perfect and amazing. It was just so good.
Thank you. Bonnie was a cool turning point for me. Not only was it getting to originate a role in a new musical, because the other three had been revivals. Of
course, yeah.
It was very exciting to kind of work alongside Frank Wildhorn. We did 2 out of towns before finally coming to Broadway. So Bonnie was a part of my life for 3.5 years.
Oh, amazing.
And so, yeah, we had a very short In Love and Life on Broadway, only a 2-month run. It was not a critical success, but the cast album has really allowed the show to live on in ways that we never thought possible. And then, 5 months later, got a surprise Tony nomination for that, which was just such a shock.
So well deserved. I mean, it's hard to find an audience in New York. When there are new shows, it's really hard to capture that sustainable audience. But I mean, I know I did such a show, so same thing, like 3-month run, boom. But it lives in perpetuity. Is that the right word?
That's it.
It's there. You got the cast album. People love it. They do it in regional theaters all the time. I mean, yeah.
I get tweets
Pretty cool.
almost daily. Someone posts something about Bonnie and Clyde, or fan art, or something about me and Jeremy. It's like the show really has lived on and had a big impact on a lot of people.
It really has, especially that bathtub scene. Hello.
Yeah, it was pretty great having Jeremy Jordan just serenade me with a ukulele in a bathtub.
Please, the two of you. I mean, and also the whole cast was incredible.
Yeah.
Really amazing singers, just stunning.
And
And then
so glad
Cinderella.
you got to see it in its 2-month run.
Oh yeah, I was there. Totally. I had a lot of friends in it too. It's a great group of people. Cinderella.
Yes,
Let's see
was next.
Gorgeousness. I loved that production. I mean, how fun was that new script, and how clever and cool was it to cast Santino as Prince Charming and the two of you together? It's just so good. Tell me about your experience with getting to do this revised version of it.
Yeah, it was so special and magical. You know what I mean? The producer Robin Goodman called me, probably again 3 years before we actually came to Broadway to do a reading of it, and she's like, "Would you want to play Cinderella at this reading?" And you're like, "What girl doesn't say yes to that?"
Right.
And so I was really honored, and Santino. I had actually here's a full circle story for you. Santino went to school at the Guthrie program in Minnesota, and he was actually originally cast as the Aladdin understudy in Aladdin, where I met my husband. And he ended up turning it down to continue to do shows at something at the Guthrie instead. And thank goodness he turned it down, because then I met Nate, which obviously had to happen because now we've been married forever. But I've known of Santino for a long time. We have that Minnesota connection. We did a reading together of Gentleman's Guide, actually, way back when, 2008. It was actually had a different title, and so I had known of him for a long time. And then we finally got to work together in Cinderella, and I love him to bits. We had so much fun, and seeing reading on the script, she twirls and the dress becomes a white gown, and you're like, okay, how's that going to happen?
Yeah.
And getting to be in on those costume fittings with William Ivy Long, and
I mean, amazing. That magic was outstanding, and it really everybody talked about that transition, and you thought, oh, it's never going to live up. It's never going to live up. Oh my God, it was magical. I mean, it was jaw-droppingly magical.
It's old school stage magic. William is a total genius. It was one of my favorite parts every night, was hearing the audience gasp at those costumes. I had there were a couple magical transformations.
Yeah, there sure were.
Obviously the cast getting to work with Vicki Clark, who again I was a fan of from Light in the Piazza.
Hello.
Way back when. It was dreamy, and to get to actually to play a character, especially coming off Bonnie, who was kind of such a turn and the bad girl, and I was belting my face off and getting to be sexy and all that. Cinderella was known throughout the land for her charity, generosity, and kindness, and her forgiveness, and it was a big show to carry. I never left the stage, and but vocally it was so in my wheelhouse. I was the last person to miss a show. I waited 10 months before I finally took a day off.
Wow.
Because my sanity was, my voice was still intact and my sanity was starting to go. So Santino was like, take a day.
Just do it.
Just do it. So I learned that lesson too during Cinderella, but it was a joy and really a magical time to see that thing come to life. To get to play such a kind of iconic and magical character.
Who did Douglas Carter Bean write the script?
Yes, rewrote the book, and so the show, it's based on the movie. There was a 90-minute made-for-TV movie version starring Julie Andrews in the 50s, and then Leslie Ann Warren in the 70s, and Brandy in the 90s. Yeah. And the show had never been done on Broadway, so Douglas Carter Bean rewrote the script, and we added probably 6 additional Rodgers and Hammerstein trunk songs to make it a full, 2.5-hour musical.
Yeah. So you were super kind of originating it, honestly.
Yeah, it did. It definitely felt like that, and there's an expectation to who Cinderella is, I think. Yeah. So there was that I kind of felt like I had to live up to, and yet the script was so rewritten with additional songs and everything. So it was that cool combination of living up to that, but also really getting to feel like we were creating it from nothing.
Yeah,
being truthful to what was on the page.
And doing your own version of what that was.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, because the representations beforehand were so different, even from Julie Andrews to Leslie Ann Warren to Brandy to you. I mean, they're all so interestingly different, but I guess to your point, there is the Disney Cinderella that's in everybody's mind. Yeah.
Totally. And we don't know. We don't need to get into that. But like Sandy, there are also people that just haters are going to hate. And you're like, Cinderella should really be blonde. And I'm like, well, hopefully, again, the performance can overshadow the fact that, my hair color, But people's expectations.
I did Cinderella a number of times in regional theater. And always Cinderella had dark hair. Always, every time I did it.
Really?
So to me, it makes total sense.
Good. Again, well, it shouldn't matter. It just shouldn't matter what color her hair is. It doesn't matter.
It's about the spirit, like you said, the kind of person that she was and how, what happened to her and her beauty on the inside.
Totally.
Okay, let's see. The other thing is Bandstand I want to talk about. Oh my God, Bandstand, which, by the way, written by a good friend of mine, Richard Oberacker. Am I wrong?
You know them, yay!
Yes, Richard and I were at Cincinnati Conservatory of Music together.
No way. With Andy Blankenbuehler, right?
Andy Blankenbuehler, right? He was around during those days, absolutely. So I know those guys really well, and I was so proud and so happy for Richard when I heard that this was going forward, and the music is spectacular.
Amazing. He is so intellectually smart musically. If you listen to that soundtrack, stop listening to the voices, listen to the arrangements. Also the orchestrations by Greg Anthony and our amazing music director, Fred Lassen. I mean, obviously our whole team. I know, love them all. The whole team obviously made it what it is. But I remember when I was learning this music because, this was an original musical. It's not a movie, it's not a book, it's not anything. So I felt like with Julia Trojan, this was the first time I was really putting my stamp on something. No one else in the planet had ever breathed life into Julia Trojan before. And that was really rewarding and fulfilling. But as I'm learning this music, because obviously, there's no cast recording, there's barely a demo, it was hard. It was hard music to learn. And I was like, where does this sit in my voice? And it took a while for it to find a home in my body and in my voice. And then once it finally clicked, it was like, oh my gosh, I love this. But it's super intellectually smart. Imagine learning these songs without having anything to listen to. That's what I challenge all you musical theater people to do. And obviously all the guys played instruments and we're learning that at the same time. And
the fact that it was Andy Blankenbuehler's sort of directorial debut, and he has always, as a choreographer, thought like a director. So it was so fun to get to see him putting his sort of stamp on, the whole thing.
Absolutely. He is brilliant. He's a brilliant man and an incredible director. And I know he wants to keep directing, and I hope he does.
And he should, right?
Yeah, he's just the most wonderful storyteller, right, through dance for sure. And I just thought he did such a great job with our show.
Yeah, he's amazing. So smart. All right, I want to, before we get into our concert portion, I want to talk a little bit about the Broadway Princess Party because you work with my friend Ben.
Yes!
And I hope he's watching. Hi, Ben, if you're watching. And Charlie said he just wrote in the chat. Great. Don't forget to ask questions if you want.
Benji, I can't believe you're watching.
I know, we love him so much. But what made you guys decide to do the Broadway Princess Party? And by the way, it has taken off.
It has. We are super excited and just grateful because, you know, I haven't been on Broadway in 2.5 years since Bandstand closed, and now no one is on Broadway because of the state of the world. But you know, Broadway Princess Party's kind of been my gig for the last 2 years, and it's been lovely to get to kind of take this to the next level and essentially tour it. We've been touring the country with this concert. It was initially Ben's idea. I have to give him all the credit. He had this dream of doing a concert with all of our favorite princess songs, and because I had just finished doing Cinderella on Broadway, he kind of partnered up with me and was like, would you ever want to be part of it, and do you think you would want to like host it essentially, and we could like invite all our girlfriends to each like play one of the princesses and sing. And it was just a night full of empowering women, and instead of, you know, it's a very competitive industry, and a lot of us have, you know, a lot of the girls that were there that night are friends of mine, but also competitors in the business, so to speak. We're always up for the same roles and whatever. And I felt like that one night we could all just celebrate each other and actually be blown away by each other's talents and what made everybody unique and special and beautiful. And Ben was so good at creating arrangements and you know, that really showcased each of them individually, and it was super fun and special, and we sold out, and it was magical. And so we decided to, you know, we did 12 more sold out shows at 54 Below in the coming 2.5 years, and then had this dream to take it beyond. We were getting a following on YouTube because Ben posted a lot of videos on YouTube. We were getting kind of this national following, and we booked a venue in California, and Ben had the idea of bringing on Susan Egan because we knew she lived in California. Ben had done a concert with her, had a contact, and decided to like reach out on a whim. And Susan was like, I would love to. And Susan was really the one when she came on board to kind of take it to the next level. She has a lot of business savvy, and she was like, if you guys let me, I would love to help you turn this into something. And so we have an actual LLC now with me, Ben, Susan, and Courtney Reed, who is Jasmine in Aladdin. Our other OG Disney princess. And
you have lots of swag.
We do indeed. We have really cute sweatshirts, t-shirts. We're doing a sale till the end of September. We have a swag sale right now, so visit our website.
Maybe we can, Ben, put it up in the chat.
Yes.
Put it up. Let's click on it.
We've been trying to still find ways to bring joy and magical sparkle to people during this time.
I love it because it is so honest and it's so beautifully felt by all of you in a very authentic way. But also what I love about it too is that sometimes Disney princesses or any princesses get sort of a bad rap of being like, I just want to find a man. But truly, if you really think about it, the way that the princesses have evolved in the last sort of 30 years is that they are sort of all about empowerment and having their own minds and their own thoughts. And I just think it's such a great role model for young girls. And I'm really glad that you guys are doing it and being able to not only capture that, but also capture the sort of spirit of Broadway with it as well.
Totally. Well, thank you for saying that. And that is definitely our goal. We emphasize a lot of those things in the show and really want to encourage people to dream. And even, I mean, starting way back with even like Ariel and Belle, like, yes, they fell in love, but like Belle like trades her life for her father's. Like, she's super courageous and she's kind of, you know, an oddball in the town, and she doesn't let that bother her. And, you know, they weren't just damsels in distress waiting to be saved. Like, they were dreamers who chose to manifest their own destinies, and choose for that to happen. And that's what I loved about Douglas Carter Beane's new script for Cinderella too, because it wasn't just like, oh, I lost my shoe and fate is gonna, you know, allow the prince to find me. In our version, Cinderella actually takes her shoe off and chooses to leave it and goes, find me. And so, you know, things like that, and especially, yes, with the newer princesses, with you know, Merida, and she doesn't want to marry anybody, you know what I mean? She's like, I don't need a man. And Moana doesn't have a, you know, a romance. So but yeah, these characters are so much more than that.
I love that. Well, let's play a little video of one of your 54 Below performances in the Broadway Princess Party, where you sing from Anastasia, Journey to the Past. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Laura Osnes.
Desert me, don't turn back now that we're here. People always say life is full of choices. No one ever mentions fear or how the world can seem so vast on the journey to the past. Somewhere down this road, I know someone's waiting. Years of dreams just can't be wrong. Arms will open wide, I'll be safe and wanted finally home where I belong. Well, starting now, I'm learning fast on this journey to the past. Home, love, family. There was once a time I must have had them too. Home, love, family. I will never be complete until I find you. One step at a time, one hope, then another. Who knows where this road may go? Back to who I was, on to find my future, things my heart still needs to know. Yes, let this be a sign, let this road be mine, let it lead me to my past and bring me
They love it. And they're eating it up.
Benji, I love
I
it too.
know.
We're actually, the Princess Posse is reuniting the end of this month in September in Nashville to do a virtual concert. So we should talk about that too.
For Airbnb.
Yes, you're partnering with Airbnb.
Right? I am obsessed with that. Like, what a
Yeah, we
cool
are super excited.
partnership.
September 26th and 27th. And you can go to Airbnb and check out their online virtual experiences and get a ticket to, if you
Yep. Ashley, put that up in the chat. Airbnb, let's have everybody go watch that.
please
That's
do.
incredible.
If you've never
What
gotten
a
to see it
fun.
live, now is your chance, direct from your living room. So
Virtually live.
exactly.
Okay, so let's hear you sing live from your living room, Laura. How about it? Are you ready to do that?
I would love to. So
And when we come back, we'll take some questions from a couple of people in the chat. There's a lot of great questions that I know some of the aspiring actresses want to hear from you, Laura. So in the meantime, let's hear it for Laura Osnes, live from her living room.
fantastic. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I thought I would do kind of stay in the princess theme for a minute and give you a little Cinderella. This is a song I love to sing. I think it's been really perfect during quarantine because we're all stuck literally in our own little corners here. So here we go. Oops. Uh-oh. Here we go. I'm as mild and as meek as a mouse. When I hear a command, I obey. But I know of a spot in my house where no one can stand in my way. In my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be. On the wing of my fancy, I can fly anywhere, and the world will open its arms to me. Norwegian princess or a milkmaid. I'm the greatest prima donna in Milan. I'm an heiress who has always had her silk made by her own flock of silkworms in Japan. I'm the girl men go mad for. Love's a game I can play with a cool and confident kind of air. Just as long as I stay in my own little corner, all alone in my own little chair. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, I can be whatever I want to be. I'm a thief in Calcutta, I'm a queen in Peru, I'm a mermaid dancing upon the sea. I'm a huntress on an African safari. It's a dangerous type of sport, and yet it's fun. In the night I sally forth to seek my quarry, and I find I forgot to bring my gun. I am lost in the jungle all alone and unarmed when I meet a lioness in her lair. Then I'm glad to be back in my own little corner, all alone in my own little chair.
Gorgeous!
Thank
Woo!
you.
As they clap all across the country, that was beautiful and so perfectly in your own little corner, actually, right there.
Thank you. With
That was well done.
my jungle, my lost in the safari jungle in the
You
background.
have one little ficus behind you. It's all good. That was so stunning. Thank you for singing that for us. What an honor it is to get to hear you sing in your own little corner. And thank you, Eric Collins, for creating the awesome sound for Laura. So, yay!
And shout out to Andy Einhorn, who is the music director for Cinderella on Broadway. He played that piano track for me, so yay.
Shout out to Andy. Thank you, guys. Okay, Laura, we have a couple of questions from some of the viewers that I'd love to put into our stream. So let's take the question from aspiring actress here, Callie Covard. She says that she loves you. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received as an artist?
Ooh.
Can you think of anything?
Oh gosh, I don't have one glaringly like this is the one quote that like led me down my path. I think one of the best things you can do is embrace the gifts that you have been given and walk confidently into this career and into every audition room and into every, even in life, it's good advice to follow. Owning who you are and being confident in who you are and what you have to offer, what makes you unique. Because I feel like in this industry, we're constantly compare ourselves to other people or always try to be what we think they want us to be. And the best thing you can do is be the best version of yourself. And that's genuine and that's real. And I think we've talked about this a little too. The other thing I would say is plow your own path. I have a very unconventional path, and I often think what may have happened if I had just played by the book. And I think being willing to take risks and kind of learn to listen to your heart sounds really cliche,
No.
but learn to listen to that voice and follow what gets you excited and where you feel the doors are opening, because sometimes it's not conventional and it's not the way the world would say it should happen or would happen.
I think that's perfect advice, Callie. Listen to Laura. It's so true, because if you aren't being yourself, if you aren't being authentically who you are, you might be missing out on what the world was hoping for. You know what I mean? Yeah. Trying so hard to be something that people are expecting, and your unique self is really sort of the most valuable. I think that's really really awesome advice. And also, what I know about Laura Osnes is that she's an incredibly kind human being as well. So I would say I'm just going to pop on top of that advice and go ahead and say that I think that there is no such thing as, nice guys finish last. I think nice guys finish first, and it's all about relationships in this business. And remember, it's really just about being in a room with people. So being kind and being respectful and having a great work ethic also really, really take you much, much farther than people ever say, I think.
This community is very small, and reputation is real.
Yep.
And I think that is really important. People want to work with nice people who
Yep.
know, who are dependable, who are responsible, who are not only very talented, but are going to show up and have a good attitude. And life is too short and to work with, the
Nope.
others. So
Too short. Not going to do it. Not going to waste my time. Especially we know now, you're not promised tomorrow, and crazy things like COVID-19 can happen and take, our industry away for a period of time. Just like live your dream, be a good person. Okay, Natalia Soto has a question. Any funny audition or mishap stories you can share from any show?
Oh my gosh. Show or audition. I'm going to share some show ones because those are, I think, more exciting and interesting. I lost my wig once during Grease. I had like a kick and a dip in this dance break in the final number, and I dipped and my sexy sandy wig fell off. And Max Crumb, who's playing Grease, got in front of me and was like opened up his jacket, was like, put it on, and I swept this dead wig off the floor and tried to put it back on my head and finished the dance break.
Oh
and
my
when we took our
God.
bow that night, we bowed, the bow was right after that number, so we took our bow and Max reached over and put his hand on my head as we bowed. I laugh about it now. It was embarrassing in the moment, but
I've heard of flipping your wig, but that's ridiculous.
that even happens on Broadway, my friends. I've taken plenty of trips, slips, and falls. Jeremy elbowed me in the face once during Too Late to Turn
Bonnie
Back Now and Bonnie and Clyde, and my lip swelled up purple and was bleeding. And what was funny is in the moment he was like, "You're fine, you're good. You look fine, you're okay." And then literally got off stage and I was like, I can feel it getting bigger.
I can't move my mouth now.
I can't move my mouth. So for 5 days I was purple-lipped, puffy-lipped Bonnie.
You're like, oh, I'm like Faye Dunaway. I got
Totally.
Laura, I think your microphone may have slipped. Am I wrong? Is it okay?
Did it?
Oh no, it looks okay.
It did. Oh my gosh, you're so. Thank you.
Here it is. I just want. Oh, hi.
Excuse me,
Just wanted to make sure you all of a sudden sounded a little quieter than I had remembered.
It was the traipsing through the forest. Thank you. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties. Let me get this.
That's all right.
back in here.
It's crazy. Even though it was in
There
your
we
lap, we
go.
could still hear you. But that's better.
Thank you. I thought
Yay.
it sounded weird too, but I still saw the clip on and I didn't realize the mic had fallen. So
There you go. Nice and clean and clear. My pleasure. So just in time to do a little Disney princess trivia, ladies and gentlemen. I've got 10 questions for Laura Osnes. I'm pretty sure she's going to nail them.
I hope so. And now I'm nervous.
We have some visual aids and everything is, it's multiple choice. So let's put up the first slide, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Who is not an actual princess, but is part of the Disney princess franchise? Is it Belle, Aurora, Mulan, or Merida?
I believe it is Mulan.
Let's see. Oh, she's right,
Ding,
ladies
ding,
and gentlemen.
ding.
She got it. Yeah, that Jasmine picture I thought might
Is
kind
very
of throw
misleading.
you.
Misleading. But I
Yep.
know she's a princess. So there you go.
Okay, question number 2. What is the name of the kingdom in Aladdin? Since you starred in it, you know.
Agrabah.
Agrabah it is.
I love this quiz. Why were quizzes like this in high school?
I mean, I would have gotten straight A's
Right.
if they were. Okay, question number 3. Who is Rapunzel's love interest? Prince Eric, Prince Adam, John Smith, or Flynn Rider?
Flynn Rider, of course, voiced by Zachary Levi in the movie, who joined the Broadway Princess Party once, mind you.
I saw that. Oh, please. I saw that dream boat.
Yes. He's
Do you know that Mandy Moore was not the first ask on that to be the voice of Rapunzel?
I actually did not know that.
Okay, now here's the real question. Who was the first person that they went to voice the role of Rapunzel? And there were actually 2 before Mandy Moore. The first one was, ladies and gentlemen, she starred in many Broadway
Kristen
shows.
Chenoweth.
There it is.
I feel like I had heard that once.
The second one was
Lauren Kennedy.
oh God, no. Let's see, let me give you a hint. She is starring in a HBO series right now, actually 2 HBO series. One with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon was the
Reese.
second ask.
Amazing.
How about that?
I wonder, why would you say no, I wonder? I
I
mean,
don't know, but thank God for
that's
Mandy
like
Moore.
my
I'm
dream is to
obsessed
voice
with
a
her.
Disney princess. I auditioned for Tangled, and Donna
did?
Murphy was right after me. So like I came out and Donna Murphy went in, and I was like,
She booked it. She booked it. That's real. Actually, the only one I ever auditioned for was Anastasia. Liz Calloway nailed that one. She got it.
She did, but you also have that voice, you know.
Well, I didn't really, actually. Okay, question number 4. How many daughters does King Triton have? 5, 7, 10, or 13?
7.
You're good, ladies and gentlemen. I say ladies and gentlemen too much. I need to stop saying that. Okay.
Hey, they're all watching. I did question that one a little. I was like, is it 7 plus Ariel? If it had the multiple choice been 5, 6, 7, 8, I might have been like, maybe it's 7 plus Ariel. So I'm glad it was 5, 7, 10. Like, then I knew it was
no,
7.
she's the youngest, the 7th. All right, I just blew this next question. Here it is.
Okay.
Who voices Rapunzel?
Oh, Mandy Moore, I knew that. But hey, that's really cool that the other 2 were options.
See?
And obviously Kristen
Yeah.
Bell is the voice of Anna.
Ah, yeah. Okay, question number 7. Which of these princesses was based on a real person? Belle, Tiana, Merida, or Pocahontas?
Oh, Pocahontas.
Yeah, easy breezy.
Hello.
Easy breezy. Okay, what's the next question? Which was the first princess film of the Renaissance era?
What does that
Aladdin,
mean?
Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas, or The Little Mermaid? What does that mean? I think it means
Renaissance?
like when the Disney movies became popular again.
Oh, that would be The Little Mermaid.
It sure would. Sure would. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I did it again. Oh my God.
Ladies
I
and
literally
gentlemen,
want to
everybody.
shoot myself in the mouth.
We belong on the stage, Lauren. It's like you're on stage, you know.
What is my problem? Sometimes I do that every week. I have one phrase that I overuse. This week, it's ladies and gentlemen.
Embrace it.
Little Mermaid, Howard Ashman. I think a lot of what we have to thank in sort of terms of female empowerment is Howard Ashman. Like, did you watch that documentary?
I didn't actually, and
Please
I need
watch
to.
it.
And when we hang up, I might go watch it tonight.
When we get off this phone call, go watch it. It literally will break your heart. It's absolutely so beautiful, and you'll realize what a genius he was and just gone way too soon. It's so sad.
I know.
That's
Complete
amazing.
Genius. I've
Okay.
heard such great things about that documentary.
Next question. What is Princess Aurora renamed to protect her identity? Briar Rose, Dawn, Bella, or Aubrey?
I believe it's Briar Rose.
It is Briar
Okay.
Rose. Oh my God. It's so funny that I knew this one because my daughter wished that I had named her Briar Rose instead of Riley Rose because she loves Aurora.
Oh,
Sleeping Beauty is her favorite.
How cute. How sweet is that? Yes, of course, that would have a very personal connection for you.
Briar Rose. Okay, question number 9. How many Cinderella movies are there in the Disney canon?
I know that she has at least 2 sequels. So I know it's 1, 2. I know there are 3.
There are 3. There are 3
Okay.
Disney movies of Cinderella. But oh my God, I went down the rabbit hole on how many Cinderella movies there are. It was countless. I couldn't have even used a question like that because it was like so many remakes of that story, of course.
That's why I kept it with the Disney franchise. But yeah, there's Ever After is based on that.
Oh,
Like Hilary
exactly.
Duff has like a Cinderella movie, I think.
So many.
There are, yes, gazillions of movies based on the Cinderella story.
Exactly. It's a good story, obviously.
It is.
And it's public domain, so it's free to use.
There you go. Exactly.
Okay. Question number 10, and the final question. Who provided the singing voice of Mulan and Jasmine? Leah Michele, Eileen Woods, Jodie Benson, or Leah Salonga?
Leia Salonga.
Oh, that girl. She's so good.
How cool to get to voice both, right?
Too. I
They
know.
just called her back because her voice is perfect.
She was
They're
so
like,
amazing.
We just want you to play them all.
So also inappropriately, probably because of the times we're in now, but Judy Kuhn was the singing voice of Pocahontas. And she was recording it when we were doing Sunset Boulevard out in Los Angeles. She was playing Betty Schaefer at the time and recording that. But the fun story about that is that she was just doing demos for our music director, but like I guess Jeffrey Katzenberg or whoever was the head of Disney at that time heard the demos. They auditioned a ton of people, and they were just like, no, I'm like, I have her voice in my head now, so that's the voice.
That's
Isn't that cool?
Liz Calloway has said the same thing for some of the things that she did, and they just were like, just keep her. We love her. Her voice
love
is
her.
perfect.
Like that's my association is with her now.
And that's how it works with Broadway too. I mean, you get asked to do a reading a lot of times, and you're like, now I'm creating this. Like, just keep me with the project, please. You know.
Or they get rid of you.
Which also happens.
Which has happened a number of times to me.
Indeed,
but also, I've also originated some roles as well, which has been super fun. But yeah, it's funny how that happens, is that you do get so connected to that process. And to me, the process of creating a new show, and you've said it a number of times tonight, but that truly is the dream. To put your stamp on a role where there's no like person who sung it before you, there's no demos, there's no preconceived notions. So you just get to like carte blanche. It's scary, but it's super rewarding.
Terrifying, but especially cool if what you're bringing to the role inspires them to craft it towards who you are and what you're great at. You know?
Exactly, and that's the genius, is that if they can write it sort of around the artist, and then you can just bring yourself. It's sort of what I want to do, and why I started Theatre Raleigh was to add to the canon of musical theater. I really wanted to promote and create new works, new writers. I mean, I had done albums with like Jason Robert Brown, and of course some of the other up and comers.
And admire and love.
Well, you know, and that was really such a passion project for me. And when I started Theatre Raleigh, that's why I started it and wanted to do it. And of course, what I realized when you come down into the regions is that you have to build the audience for it. And I feel like I'm just now getting there again. Cool. But Theatre Raleigh audience, if you're watching, please know that you will be seeing more new works, because that is going to be my dream. And speaking of new works, I wanted to ask you about this next song that you're going to sing. I know that there was a project happening where writers were writing during this time, during COVID-19. Can you talk a little bit about that project and what you're going to be singing from?
So Broadway Records created this album called Artists in Residence and reached out to a bunch of unemployed performers, songwriters, and singers, and we all made this album from our homes using like iPhones. And it sounds amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So my pal Will Reynolds and his writing partner Eric Price wrote this song called When I See You Again, which I recorded on my iPhone and sent in, and now it's on this album. And I thought the sentiment of it is so beautiful. I think it's words we all need to hear, and if you haven't picked up that album yet, check it out, because it's all songs written about people stuck in quarantine.
Well, I'm going to get out of your way so you can sing it, but Ashley, put up maybe if you can find BroadwayRecords.com, and we can at least point people in the right direction. So here she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you,
Laura Osnes. Here she is.
So if you guys don't mind, I have never performed this live before. I've sung it through probably 3 or 4 times for that recording that we made. So I don't have it memorized, and so I'm going to use my iPad. I hope that's okay. But listen to the lyrics, because it is absolutely beautiful. Here we go.
When I see you again, when we can touch, when I can hear you, I'll think back on each night. I dreamed that I might somehow be near you. Time will do what time does, walking in place, promising endings. What happens to us? There's lots to discuss when I see you again. When I see you again, curtains will rise, followed by laughter. It won't be like before. We'll cherish and will bloom when I see you again. And the tears and applause can't wait any longer. We'll remember the time when the world took a pause and came back so much stronger. When I see you again and we open our doors one after another, when that moment arrives, we will see what survives is our need for each other. We will endure, and you will be sure when I see you
Oh, yes. So amazing. The ease and the beauty of your voice is astonishing to me. Just say thank you, because it's true. I'm so happy that you shared your talents with us tonight. Thank you so much for being with Little Old Theater Raleigh and coming on and singing live and taking the time out of your Labor Day to be with us. It's really meaningful.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and thank you, Lauren, for all that you were doing, and thanks for having me. Very, very
Oh my
honored to be
God,
here
I just
tonight.
loved being able to catch up with you and
Likewise.
see your face and share you with our audience and our YouTube contingents of people who are going to go and subscribe to our channel.
Indeed.
And thank you all for watching and keeping theater alive. I really do wish you the best, Laura. And I like, as Ben knows, I've been trying to get Broadway Princess Party down to Theater Raleigh, so I'm going to keep working on that once we're allowed to have
Great.
gatherings, more than 10 in a room.
We would love that.
I would love to have you guys. That would be really amazing. So please give my best to Nate and to the rest of your family, and be well, be safe, all that sort of stuff. And we look forward to seeing you really soon.
Likewise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Lauren. Bye, Charlie.
Bye, Charlie says bye. Thank you. Mwah. We'll see you soon, Laura. Okay, that was incredible. I'm enchanted by her. I'm sure you guys are too. What an honor it was to have her live on our program. We're actually going to take a week off next week, and we are going to be back with Living Room Live September 21st. We're going to have Peggy Taphorn and Gavin Paymer from Temple Theater. They also have incredible Broadway and national tour credits. There they are. Peggy Taphorn and Gavin Paymer. She's done incredible shows like Smokey Joe's Cafe, Me and My Girl, and Showboat on Broadway. He's toured with A Chorus Line and Cats. They are two of the senior leadership over at Temple Theater. So tune in on September 21st to hear them perform, sing, and chat about theater in our area. And then, of course, in the meantime, September 13th, we are going to have the Bridges of Madison County reunion special with a castmate of Laura Osnes's. Janine DeVita will be with us, along with Callie Covert, who asked a question tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a little bit of what you can expect from that reunion special.
There's a boat that leaves from Napoli every Thursday in the morning, and I know this bride can share a bed with her soldier from the States. Tornado of his eyes shining bright, and before night's just stay this night, I'd break him down, he'd open up.
You're never alone. You're never alone. My life, I have been told.
I have been
So join us for that. It's going to be a fun conversation. We're going to be telling backstage stories and showing lots of video from that really beautiful performance from those amazing actors. So join us on September 13th at 7:30 right here on YouTube. Thanks again to Laura Osnes, to Eric Collins for helping us with sound, and of course Charlie Brady for helping with the amazing videography and for running the stream tonight. And everyone at Theater Raleigh, thank you so, so much. Thank you to our viewers, and we will see you online very soon. And in the meantime, please stay safe and wear your masks and vote and all that. We will see you soon. Good night, everybody.